So I solved the issue with my headphones, and right now I can hear everyone.
Hey Mohan, hey
Okay.
Rahul, welcome.
Hi, Mark.
Hello, guys.
So, Mohan, Rahul, you guys are coders, right?
Yes.
Nice, nice.
Yes.
So you might actually come up with some questions. Vlad Satojo, he is the core dev of Tonana, CTO, and he has quite a wide range of experience with FunC coding and testing. So you can use this time to actually ask your questions where you're stuck, you're not sure how to program.
Yeah, guys, if you have any questions about FunC, we can answer
Yes,
on
I'm
them.
sharing one question.
Yeah, sure.
Yes, I have shared one screenshot in the chat. Actually, I am new to functioncy and it's hard to understand what is going on. Like, what is why they are create like in the story and send integer. They have first pass the first parameter, then 1 plus 4 plus 4 plus 64 32. What is the meaning of that?
I'm not sure I
Sorry, I
got.
did. Yeah, yeah, I didn't get the question.
Actually, I want to understand I want to understand what is the meaning of that 1 plus 4 plus 4. Why
Okay, okay.
can't we write a single integer instead of writing 1 plus 4 and 4 64?
You mean that you have in the FunC code you have like the string of some number inside like building the cell. You have store your int and you have like one plus and the stuff. Yeah, did I get it
Yes.
right?
Yes, instead of writing a simple numbers like a 64 or 128 or 256, why we have to write 1 plus 4 and 4 like this in
So
this one?
so if I get it right, that work like that it's just a good practice to write bits separated and just sum them in the store when you write the store. So each of the number in that line view means that you have some flags delegated to that value that you store. So if you have like 1 plus 1 plus like I don't know 4 plus 8 and stuff, in total you will have some like total number, for example, like 128, and that will means that 128 bits will be delegated for storage for your variable. And like each of the number will means a specific part of the storage. So like specific flag, for example. You can write like just the final number, just the result of the sums, but also you can write it by mathematical equation, and it will be just more human readable, and it will be like more understandable what is going on inside. So and what flags tagged inside it.
Okay, got it.
So did I answer on the question?
Yes, I understood. No.
Okay, okay, thanks.
Hey guys, anybody else with questions? Shashank, welcome.
Hello, Shashank.
I was with the doctor, so it was late. Sorry, I'll just take 1 minute and I'll ask something.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Mohan, are you a developer?
Yeah, Mark, I'm a developer. I'm basically into C, C++, Visual C++ stuff. So
I attended the hackathon session in Hyderabad, and yeah, I'm from Eklavya Dev. So I was curious to learn FunC. So I'm beginning to start exploring TON and start exploring FunC. I have not yet got my hands dirty yet, but yeah, I'll get my hands dirty soon.
Okay.
Okay. Did you have
Right.
any questions
Yeah,
about FunC or
as of
like?
now, yeah. So as of now, I'm just looking for some directions to head how to learn FunC. So what is your suggestion? How to start? I'm beginner. I
Okay.
know C++, but I never had any blockchain background. I'm starting to understand the blockchain and starting to learn things.
Okay. So this is really a common question in our area, how to start. And so there are three or like four common ways how you can learn FunC. I think the most popular one is to go to ton.org / docs, and you can find there like a bunch of information how to start, and this is like some sort of official way to start to learn FunC. There are like one or few um, uh, texts about like how to deploy some smart contracts, and so there are a few topics how to develop your smart contracts, and there are like a bunch of samples of the code in FunC cookbook. You find it in the menu. So second way to learn FunC is just to read like code from other guys. So there are like a bunch of good programmers who already built a bunch of projects on Ton, and most of them is open sourced. So you can just go to the GitHub and try to find some code samples from the community itself. So next thing is to go to the chat, to the community chat, and answer some questions there. Also, like a bunch of stuff already written in the chats, so you can go through history of the chat and find answers on like other people questions. And and the last way to learn FunC is to go to the YouTube and find some FunC tutorials or like FunC videos. And for example, Mark have like FunC course where he used to study FunC from the scratch. You can just to go to the video and start to like to repeating everything.
Okay. Yeah, I'm already following Mark on YouTube channel. So I have seen that
Yeah,
he has
that's nice.
posted few basic how to install, how to run. I'll go through those videos as well.
Yeah, that's nice. That's nice.
So I
So,
want to ask a question from Spencer. It's just I want to ask, like, we have to actually, what are like in string literals, what is this, the following type string types are supported. So I'm not able to understand, like, why we do it like S, A, U, H, and how we use it and why these kind of things.
um, so if I get it right, you have the question about slice
String
type or
literals. Yeah, I want to ask a question about string literals, like, why we are defining these words like S, H, U, and all. And, what's the role they play in this. I'm actually not able to understand the string literals at all. Like, what is a string literal, why we use it, and, how, what's the function.
I'm not sure that I can answer that question because I'm not completely understand what the question is about. So string literal is like something in FunC contract itself or what? What is it?
Yeah, string literal is in this is something like present in function C document on
You mean that how you can work with strings inside the FunC itself? Okay, let me check the link that you sent.
Okay, I'll ask another one. So, why my question is, why we have to define ASM in function decoration, like, in triple underscore length, triple T, ASM, TLEN. So, why we have to like define this ASM in function decoration?
So ISM is the flag for assembly code, and in FunC, so FunC is more high-level language in terms of comparing with fifth. So the fifth code is some sort of assembly for TON blockchain smart contracts. And so usually we are writing smart contracts in FunC, and it's pretty high level language in terms of comparing with Fifth. And you don't need to, I don't know. So you don't have this flexibility as you if you as you will have if you will write smart contracts in Fifth. But develop smart contracts in Fifth is really hard. So you can build your contracts in FunC, and if you will have some specific parts where you want to call the assembly code, you can use asm flag and write in the strings in the commas. You can write your assembly code, and it will be compiled and it will work. So the most usual case is creating OP codes and creating global variables, global constants. You can find this samples of such code in GitHub of different repos, and usually it work that way that you create some variable and you create ASM, and inside that function you will write assembly code that you return some integer, and that way you will be able to create constants with global constants.
Yeah, we can do it. And I also want to ask you, like, if someone is like, if I want to teach someone, how to code in function, he is just an absolute beginner, and function C is his first language. So how can actually we teach them, it's if he is not aware about anything, because right now if I look at the document present on the TON website, it's a little bit, I feel like, incomplete, or I can say that, like, it's for the, like, if someone is already a coder or he has much experience in coding, then only he can understand the document. But what about the new one, if someone wants to come and learn functionally as his first language, so how
Mhm.
he should approach this? Or I want to teach this to like non coders. I want, like, we have an web browser ID, so we want to teach this to like someone who never code. So I want to teach it into, so what's the process like? How can we actually teach them?
So the question is how to let's say start infancy if you like do not understand the documents itself, because the documents written for developers who already have some experience in development. Is it like the question? Uh, Shashank, can
Yeah.
you please? accept if okay. So I think if so if you're really new in development niche, and you even don't have like development experience, and if you want to try to write some smart contracts already, I think the best way to do so is to go on the chats, in Telegram chats, and you can find dudes who in the same situation as you are, and they already like solved some really basic questions. And second good example is to go to Mark's videos, and he have the process of learning FunC from the scratch. So he recorded himself when he used to learn FunC, and he had like bunch of videos on the topic when he didn't know like anything, and he started to learn. So you can just watch them without coding, without repeating and recreating what he's doing, but through watching the videos, you will be able uh, to to learn something without even coding. And so in terms of documentation, the good approach, I think, is to translate that documentation. And if it's not working for you and you're still not understanding something, I think one of the best approaches is to go to ChatGPT and send some parts of the documentation inside ChatGPT and try to ask the AI like what is it about and what does it mean. And usually ChatGPT will be able to answer to basic stuff. So I think that's how you can onboard on the first stage.
Yeah, yeah. Enzo.
So any other questions, guys? In terms of string literals, I can start to discuss it. As understood, um, um, yeah, I reading the question. I reading the text. The following string types are supported without type use for assign function defined and to define the slice const by ASCII strings. So if you will write some string literal inside FunC, and you will have ASM like this three symbols before the string, that will mean that inside the string, compiler will try to we want to see your ASM code. So if you will write like string literals, you will need the double quotes. You need to write assembly code inside it. And if you will not use ASM before the string, compiler will take the string as bunch as slice of the bytes. So each byte is ASCII representing ASCII character of the string. So for example, you have string hello world, and compiler will see such stuff as separated symbols in ASCII. So it will be a bunch of bytes. And you can work with the bytes if you know how to convert ASCII to the like letters. So if you will write some type, for example, as if you will write some string and after the string you will have like type S, that means that inside your string supposed to be some bits already prepared to work with. For example, compiler will be looking for like a rough slice. So rough slice is just a bunch of bits and bytes, and you can represent it in the hex or in bits. So there are a bunch of other flags you can add. For example, A, and it will represent just address inside the string, and you will need to write address inside it. And compiler will see such stuff as just as address if you create it in the FunC. So you have like a few different ways. For example, you can go to write a string with the flag A on the end, or you can just create an address or receive one inside smart contract. So if you will write U on the end, your string will be represented as hex values, where each hex value, hex bit will be just ASCII symbol of the string. If you have H on the end, that will mean that inside the string you will so if you will have H on the end, that means that your string will be gone through SHA 256. That's the algorithm for like hash algorithm, and you will have the hash. You will have the first 32 bits of the hash, and if you will have like big H, then you will have like 256, so entire hash of the string. So there are a bunch of flags that you can work with, and string literals basically represent this functionality where you will be able to write something in the string and use some flag to some sort of transfer that like string data in some other data type or some other like for example some other logic, for example assembly logic. So I hope that I answer on the question about string literals. So is there any other questions, guys? Rahul, Mahan, Slinton, so on. Okay, if not, okay, you have some question?
No, I
Sure.
just want to ask you if we have some question in future. Can we connect with you on Telegram? Like we can message
Yeah,
you.
sure.
Thank you.
I will write my Telegram nickname in the chat, so you can connect me by typing Sepeja in the Telegram. So that's my account. Okay. Slinton, you want to say something? I saw your message in the chat. You need to unmute yourself before. Right now you're muted. Or you can write it in the chat and I will read it a bit later. Sorry, I don't hear you because you're muted, Clinton. You need to unmute yourself.
There we go. Apologies.
Yeah.
Right, can you hear me?
Yeah, sure. right now.
Yeah, just there's four predominantly main colors in blockchain. It's your blue, red, white, and black. What was it now that I typed there? I can't even remember.
Purple.
Yeah.
So there's predominantly those four main colors. Is there a specific reason for all those colors?
Yeah, actually, the TON coin itself and TON blockchain originally was created by Telegram, and the logo of TON coin, I can show you here. So the logo of TON coin is like airplane or from the Telegram application. You can, but from the view of top, and the colors in the blue, because Telegram originally had the same colors, and the team who created Telegram, who created Tone, is Telegram developers. But
Okay, so it's just the face.
yeah, but eventually they open sourced everything, and right now like open sourced community start to work on Tone, but Tone itself, the naming and like logos and like style of the sites and everything continue to be such way as like Telegram created it.
Okay.
So yeah,
And
that's actually.
since how long are you, working on with Function C, and what you are building right now, if you want to answer?
So I have experience with Tone. So I started to work with Tone a year ago, but fancy smart contracts I started to write half of the year ago. Before that, I just worked with NFTs and already contracts that already was created. So, for example, you don't need to know fancy to work to deploy your NFT collection, because NFT collection is already created smart contract. So FunC is the language for like creating smart contracts, and if you have some basic business cases, usually you don't need to write your own smart contract, because it's already created by someone else. And so after half of the year in Ton niche, I started to wondering like, what is it, what is that? And after all, I started to have business cases where I need to learn fancy, and where I will be able to work with that. So that's how long I work with fancy. Right now, I'm working on a few projects. One of them is lending protocol, TON. So lending is some sort of bank inside the TON ecosystem, inside smart contracts. Users will be able to deposit some money to receive APY, so to yield some money. And also users will be able to borrow some money, and they will need to pay a bit more to pay some APR. So that's the first project, and second project that I have right now is Tanana. Tanana is the cross-chain communication protocol. So there are a bunch of use cases for it. For example, transfer NFT token from one chain to another, or like transfer some tokens from some TON to Solana or something. And there are a bunch of samples on other chains, but on TON blockchain there are not so much bridges or zero-layer protocols. So, and we are the first protocol who work on that, and we are the first lending protocol on the TON ecosystem as well. So I have the two projects, and both of them is the first, the first project in the niche on TON. And also, I work with Mark on one of the project. I just help him to work with ICO smart contracts. So that's like my three niche where I'm working in right now. Yeah, I see in the chat that everything is okay and you get it. So actually, like today, I start to learn new part of TON ecosystem. It's TLB schema. So this is really interesting stuff to know. I think if you want to learn something about TON and FunC development, I think it's really good to know how to create TBL schema and how to work with that. So for example, inside smart contracts, you will have some OP codes, and it was really hard for me to understand how you need to create OP codes and how you need to like understand what is what. And the answer for that is TLB schema for each function inside your smart contract. You need to create TBL schema, and from that schema you will be able to get your OP code right, like the right way. So that's the good practice on TON. So I see in the chat that Clinton let us. So you can go to our project and give us feedback on TON. John, I will. Yeah, I will take a look on it, and we will see what is it, and we'll give you feedback. We'll give feedback to you a bit later inside Telegram, maybe. Actually, just give me 1 second. I will close the window because it's sunny here. Yep, it's better. So can you please explain what is your project is about, just in a few words?
Yeah, we are actually, for the new ones who actually face a lot of problem in setting up local for the first timers, and also for the pro developers who want to share their code with their buddies. So it's very difficult right now to to set up local and everything for ton, and that too required, like OS requirement is there and other things are also there. So often they get errors while they set up their locals. So we are actually building an browser based IDE for the ton, and
Okay.
it's like more advanced version of Remix. So we are having much more functionalities with better more than we will have functionalities more than Remix, and we are actually focusing more on the user experience part, so that like more and more people actually can come and build on ton, and it will be easy for them to share their code, collaborate with each other and everything.
Actually, this is really interesting stuff to work with. I think it's good for new guys who start to develop in FunC. So it's good to have already prepared IDE for FunC development, and this is definitely good approach for community and for
And we are
for
also planning to provide the most used templates, like if someone wants to create an NFT marketplace on by using
yeah.
ton, so he can actually just come and select our template, and then he can
Mhm.
easily create his. So we are actually planning to have these things in pipeline, and we are also planning to create a like community bounty hunting projects, so that anyone can actually come and do their small task and write small codes and earn the bounties. So it will be more useful for the community engagement, and more and more people will come and learn and contribute in TON environment.
Yeah, that's nice. That's nice. So that's a really interesting project in terms of onboarding new users in TON, because you're lowering um, the level of development like of
Barrier
entrance
to,
in
yeah.
FunC. Yeah.
Yeah, and we are also actually planning to have like proper documentation, for like if someone wants to understand like what is domain specific language, if someone wants to like understand like what is a static language, these kind of words, if someone is not aware of, we will actually, I'm actually trying to create a document so that someone actually can come and read this document, and he can easily understand these words, and that makes sense for him, like why should he choose TON over like
Mm-hmm,
other
mm-hmm,
languages.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, that's nice. So I think for start, you can just go through ton.org/docs and just copy everything that they have, and on top of that you can start to writing your own documentation. So you can take like original documentation as start point, and then like customize it for new guys, and try to rewrite it by like human words without like technical
Yeah.
stuff.
This is my aim, the hard keywords, the jargons. So I'm actually
Yeah,
trying to explain them in very lucid language, so that a new one can, with analogies and everything, so that a new one can actually understand them easily. Like what
yeah.
is domain specific language, for example. So I'm giving example, like if you want to do a particular thing on with this language, it will be easy, rather than doing it with like a generic language. Function C is more of a like especially designed language for TON, rather than C, that is a common language for writing anything. So these kind of things I'll explain in a very lucid manner, so that like there will be no barrier to entry for the new developers who just who are the new ones on TON, because we are actually going to have a lot of hackathons and a lot of lectures in upcoming time. So it will be easy for like the new ones to just come and read those documents and understand those things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I understand. Yeah, this is really nice stuff. And yeah, I hope that you'll be able to get like through that level of that high level of entrance in tone, and you'll be able to describe everything by like human language, because it will be really helpful for other guys who only starts to do that. And yeah, and
So
I
I also
think
want to like how you learn it, like how you learn function C, because when you start learning function C, I don't think there was even a document was there. So how you learn it, like.
so. Yeah, so there like so for myself, the way how I learned it is so I get some direction where I want to go and what I want to know. So for example, I want to create multi-sign smart contract. That was my like first step, that first big milestone that I want to achieve, is to create smart contract on language that I don't know. and and then I started to research like other languages samples. So for example, I saw how users create multi-sign smart contract on Solidity, and then I went to GitHub and start to search code samples for other smart contracts on TON blockchain. So, and you can just go to GitHub search and start to write some some target words. For example, you can write like load uint. This is like a function in FunC that
Yeah.
that will be in each file of FunC, and you can just go through some FunC files that have that function in the GitHub open source and start to like read them step by step. And if you don't get something, you can ask or search in Telegram chats. So that's how I learned FNC. I think the one of the main point is to have motivation to do something. And I had motivation to learn FunC because I needed to create a multi-sign contract, for example. And I think for new users, the main approach is to have motivation and to have some like big milestone after. And if they will achieve it, they will have like I don't know something good in their life. I don't know, maybe they want to create their like pet project with something, and for that they will need to learn fancy. I think the best approach is to somehow motivate your like users to go to still continuously learning fancy.
So this is something me and Rahul were planning. How can we actually retain user, and how can we motivate users so that they can actually just build and do things. Because if we talk about hackathon, then you need a very big project, and for that you need to actually learn for like 1 or 2 months. So we actually want to create it into micro task, so that when a new user come, he will actually learn and write a simple smart contract, and he'll actually learn some coins, win some
Mm-hmm.
coins,
Mm-hmm.
and that will
Yeah.
motivate him to actually do it again and again. And at the end of the day, like when he have like certain number of coins, he can actually stake those coins and do some like pretty things, like buying an NFT or something. These
Yeah.
kind of, we are actually gamifying a whole the experience, so that we can actually onboard and retain more and more users, and giving them small tasks, so that they will actually not feel frustrated and go away from our platform.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is good motivation point. So to drop NFTs or some tokens to users when they will achieve something, and or to have some scoreboard on the site, and users will be motivated to learn new stuff and to complete tasks because they will have like this competitor spirits in themselves, and they will um, uh,
Yeah, and we are also planning to giving them like certain titles, like you are like pro Jack and these kind of
mm-hmm,
things. Yeah,
mm-hmm,
so that
yeah,
people
yeah.
actually get them, and they can brag, they can post, they can actually do the stuff, so that like to get more and more things done. Yeah,
Yeah,
these
this
kind
is
of
good.
things
Yeah.
we are actually planning, but we actually need funds for doing all that. That's why we are like finger crossed, to and trying everything to like win this hackathon. So
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah, this is really interesting. So anyway, I think we need to finish here, and I hope that that I helped to you somehow, and Rahul as well. And so anyway, the recording of the stream will be inside Ton and Company YouTube channel. And oh, Vladimir, hello there. But actually, I'm finishing the stream here, and I will repeat that you can watch the recording of the stream on Ton and Company YouTube channel. We'll drop a link in the chat. And I'm sorry, Vladimir, that you came late, but we already finished here. And so I guess that's all.
Yeah, let's
Thank,
finish
th-
this. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you for for this
Hmm.
whole experience and you sharing your experience. Thank you so much.
Hmm. Hmm. Bye.